Forget birthdays or Christmas. This was the real holiday. The day I could walk into the guidance counselor's office and talk about my plans for after high school. We were one day closer to me leaving Emerson Academy and never going back. It wasn't that high school was absolutely atrocious for me, or that I was picked on endlessly. It was more the constant feeling of being out of place, like everyone there was oil, and I was water. Separate somehow. I lived life from the outside looking in, but in college, that would change. Everyone seemed to promise that college would be this new place with people like me who would understand me, see the world in the way that I did. So instead of glooming and dooming over high school, I looked forward. That is, until I got distracted by the squeak of sneakers. I'd been so lost in my thoughts, I hadn't seen the open gym doors ahead. I stepped toward the opening, thinking it was a little late for gym and a little early for basketball practice. But when I reached the doors, I saw Terrell was in there shooting hoops alone. I found myself captivated by the way he held the ball in his large hands, how he easily dribbled it on the floor without ever once even looking at it. It was like the ball was connected to him by an invisible string, under his complete control. He pounded the ball over golden hardwood floors, driving toward the basket, and then shot from a corner of the free throw line. Orange rubber sailed through the air, then went through the net with a snap. The ball crashed to the ground with a boom, then another before he jogged to pick it up. As if he could feel me watching him, he turned his dark brown eyes on me. My cheeks instantly flushed, and I felt like a deer in the headlights, staring at him, but not knowing how to look away. If I hid, I'd look that much guiltier. But staring his way only made my fascination more obvious. Not that it helped me look away. He was too bright, too handsome, tall with a muscular body, perfectly cut hair. His lips easily lifted into a smile, making it even harder to breathe. "First game's not till next week," he called with a cheeky grin. If I could melt into the floor, I'd be a puddle amongst the flecked tiles. Instead, I stood still while he looked away from me, breaking the spell to take another shot. Meanwhile, I continued my path to the counselor's office, so embarrassed that puddling on the floor was the preferable option.
Coach blew his whistle to signal the start of practice, and I glanced around at the sparse gymnasium. Less than half of the team was here, but the clock by the scoreboard said he was right on time, as usual. Did I miss a field trip or something? All the guys on the team had been in school earlier. I hadn't been able to talk to them over my lunch period because I had a college counseling meeting with Birdie. Hopefully, Coach would explain what the heck was going on. I jogged over to the bench, realizing the only people here were freshmen and sophomores. Maybe there was an assembly I missed? I sat on the bench next to a freshman named Bash, short for Sebastian, a refrigerator with legs. "Where's everyone, Coach?" I asked. The other guys seemed to have the same question as they looked at the small group here. 9 of us in total. Not even enough to have a proper scrimmage. Coach Parker's lips formed a long, thin line that had my stomach tightening with nerves. "Do you remember the rules I set out at our first practice last week?" he barked, beginning to pace the navy blue out-of-bounds line. The guys and I nodded out of rhythm. He pointed to a sophomore named Dane. "Tell me rule number 1. Dane flipped his dark black hair out of his face like it would help him speak. "Team success over individual glory?" Coach nodded. "Mm-hmm. Rule 2, Cannon?" From the second row, a freshman with short blonde hair and more freckles than pale skin said, Stay clean. No drinking, no drugs, no getting in trouble with the school or the law." "Right," Coach said. Then he looked at me, pinning me under a heavy, dark blue stare. "And you, Terrell, tell us rule number 3. "Give it your all," I answered. "Every practice, every game, leave it all on the court." He nodded, pressing his lips together. "This weekend, some of your teammates chose to disregard rule number 2. Instead of staying clean like they were supposed to, they risked our team in this season by attending some rager on the beach." A muscle in his jaw ticked right along with his footsteps. "That party got busted by the police." The nervous tension in my gut transformed to a 100-pound weight, carrying all the force of what I knew was coming.